is a public building.
Exactly, that's why I'm recording it.
It's also a court facility.
Yep.
Which there is a judicial law or judicial order that says that you cannot tape this building.
Can I see that order?
Yes, come on in. We're going to check your IDs too.
Oh, no, I'm not going in.
Oh, yeah, no. We're going to run you too.
No, that's all
We're going
right.
to get your name. We're going to do a report and everything. So come on in.
No.
No, yeah, you're going to come in now.
Am I being detained?
Yes.
For what?
Because right now you are doing something suspicious.
That's not a reason to detain anybody.
Well, it is for dinner. Come on.
It's really not.
Let's go
so
inside
I'm just going
now.
to stay here and continue recording.
Okay. You're going to come in and we're going to find out who you are and what you're doing here.
No, you're not.
Okay. All right, who's got cuffs? She does not want to go agreeably. Okay.
I'm being detained for just taking pictures of the building.
Yes, ma'am. You're doing something suspicious and we need to know who you are and why you're doing it. Okay?
Are you familiar with the First Amendment?
Yes. I am.
Really?
Let's go in. Come on.
Wow.
I tried to do this nicely. You are aware of Homeland Security, right?
Hi guys, my name is Amanda. I am behind the channel Pink Camera Magic, and the video that you just watched, I'm actually the woman that was behind the camera on that. Now that happened March 18th, 2018, and I wanted to give you all an update on what was going on. So shortly after that, I filed a federal lawsuit with the Fifth Circuit, which is where Cook County is located. And it's been going on for 3 years. My attorney, who's a fantastic attorney by the way, he filed a motion for decision, basically, and what they decided is they were going to drop the case. And they made a statement saying why they decided to drop the case. So listen to this now. If y'all think, okay, you saw the video, right? Y'all just saw the video. All right, this is what they said, okay? This is the judge's decision. He said, in Katie versus Sheehan, the Seventh Circuit held that an officer was entitled to conduct a Terry stop of an individual who is, quote, lurking amongst the bushes outside a courthouse 2 hours before it opens, is shabbily dressed, carrying a briefcase, claims to be a federal process server, refuses to provide identification upon request, and is evasive in response to police questioning. And then it says 467 4.3D 1057, 1062 7th Circuit 2006. Okay, I'll go ahead. I'm going to copy and paste this. I'm going to put this on my page. It'll also be on my Facebook page as well. As the court reasoned, a reasonable, prudent officer would be concerned for the safety of the officers and civilians in the area, as well as for the stopped individual, ID here. As in Katie, a reasonable, prudent officer in Officer Barbero's position, which was the officer who first approached me when he opened the door, be concerned about the well-being of officers, jurors, witnesses, victims, and judicial employees after seeing plaintiff, videotaping the courthouse and refusing to answer basic questions, especially whereas here reasonable cause existed to believe plaintiff captured footage of the court entrance and the inside of the courthouse, including the security post itself. So that's what it says. That's the judge's decision. So yeah, you tell me what you think. The good news, however, is that we are filing an appeal. So yeah, my lawyer said he feels very strongly about that. He's definitely looking forward to doing this appeal, and I'm certainly looking forward to sharing how that goes with you, because this is what it's all about. This is why I do what I do. It's important to me to go through this process with you and share all the information, because it's not just about recording police and government officials and things like that. Like, there's usually a whole process, and we want to see how the judicial system works, and hopefully justice is served here. What you didn't see in this video, we have body cam footage of, is when they took me in the back They threatened me with jail time if I didn't ID. They emptied out my purse. They told me I was going to be in the Cook County Jail for 90 days for not providing ID. Like, they were really going hard, and I kept quiet the whole time. Unfortunately, I can't release those videos at this time because we're doing the appeal, but I can release the decision, which is what I'm doing here. We also have depositions, and we've got a lot of information over the past few years. I am dying to share it with you. So eventually, when this case is all over with and the appeals are done, I will share those with you. But until then, I have to be kind of tight-lipped about that. But I just wanted to share with you what was going on. Am I discouraged? No, not at all. In fact, I'm going to go harder, and it makes me want to go back out to Chicago and back out to the Cook County area. So that's one of the reasons I've been kind of chill lately with my audits. I wanted to sort of keep a low profile for what's been going on here, but obviously there's a lot of work that needs to be done. So I'm going to be working hard, doing my thing as much as I can. I wish I could do it more full time. But, you know, I have kids and stuff like that, so, and other responsibilities. Anyways, thank you so much for rocking with me. I appreciate you. Please make sure, if you haven't already, to like and subscribe. It certainly helps out a lot. I'm looking forward to putting out a bunch of content for you. You can also follow me on TikTok. You can follow me on Facebook and see a lot of my videos. And I'm going to put a lot of the, this type of information on Facebook, so you can see a lot of it there. Anyways, if you want to reach out to me, please email me at itsthatmagicyoucrave@gmail.com. And you can also message me through Facebook as well. So go ahead and find me on social medias. I'm going to link everything in the description. But until I get the next update, y'all, thank you so much.
Will the court reporter please swear in the witness? Did you ask Malazzo how the deposition went?
I did not.
You didn't talk to him at all?
I saw him as I was walking out of the office. We walked out. He said, I'm going to ask you a lot of questions, and that was it.
Okay. So what have you done to prepare for this deposition? Anything?
No, I spoke to State's Attorney Mike Gorman yesterday. Briefly, we did a phone conference.
I don't want to hear about that.
Okay.
I don't know where we're going. Did you review any documents or any video footage?
I did not.
Okay. Is it against the law to take pictures of a courthouse from outside?
No, not that I know of.
Okay. Is it lawful to arrest somebody for taking pictures outside of a courthouse, of the courthouse?
No, not that I know of.
Okay. Is there something
Okay, sorry.
So I kind of get every word because it's on video.
Okay.
Are you familiar with this case at all?
Which case?
The case that brings us here today, that you're testifying in.
I don't know if you heard that, but he said, are you familiar with this case? And she's like, which case? You're sitting here doing a deposition right now, so yeah, it's this case. Anyways, moving on.
Yes.
Okay, and in a nutshell, what's the case about?
I would say that Amanda Berquist is, I guess I called you to say that she was outside videoing when she shouldn't have been. So she's saying we violated her amendment rights.
You're correct. When you say when she shouldn't have been, what does that mean? Was she doing something wrong?
Just something unusual, what us as officers would consider unusual.
Unusual, okay. Depending on where you are in the country, Mormons are unusual, right? Depending on where you are, it might be unusual to see a Mormon. Do you get to detain Mormons in those places?
I don't know if people detain Mormons. I don't know if they detain Mormons.
Would it be lawful?
I don't know.
Just because it's unusual?
No, I don't.
Okay. Is there something unlawful about recording outside of a building?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Let me ask you this. Was Miss Berquist doing anything illegal when she was detained?
No, I would say it was not illegal, unusual.
Okay. In order to detain somebody, what do you have to have legally? Do you know?
Now, before she answers, I know I keep stopping here, but remember, this is a sergeant, okay? This is a decorated officer. She's a sergeant. So keep that in mind.
I do not know the law legally.
Okay. Did you have any reasonable suspicion that she was committing a crime?
We had reasonable suspicion to ask her what she was doing and why she was doing it, just to get who she was and why.
You and I agree on that you had the right to ask her whatever you wanted to ask her. Did you have the right to put her in handcuffs?
For the security of the officers, yes.
Okay. What made her a threat?
Her refusing to give any information that was requested of her.
Was she legally obligated to give that information?
When an officer has asked her for security purposes to give her identity up, yes, we do have the right to ask for an identity of somebody for our safety.
Have you ever heard of something called a Terry search or a Terry frisk?
I have.
Okay, what is that?
Sergeant.
I'm not going to say exactly. I don't know
Remember, sergeant.
the law.
Okay. Well, let me just ask you this. A police officer is allowed to go over to anybody they want, demand to see ID, and if they refuse, they get to arrest them? Is that your testimony? Or detain them?
Can you say it one more time? I'm sorry.
Sure. Police officer goes over to somebody on the street. Let's call the person Mr. Plaintiff.
Okay.
Police officer goes to Mr. Plaintiff and says, hey, let me see your ID. And Mr. Plaintiff says, no. Is the officer now allowed to put Mr. Plaintiff in handcuffs and detain him?
Or object. It's a hypothetical. It calls for speculation.
Yeah.
You can answer.
Okay. I do believe, yes, for officer safety, they do have the right to then at least them do a pat down of the person's outer garments for their safety.
Doesn't there have to be reasonable suspicion that the person committed a criminal offense or violated a law?
Because I don't know the law exactly.
You don't know when an officer...
I don't know the law exactly. This is scary, guys.
There's a lot of detain somebody?
We can detain if there is unusual activity.
Who told you
To-
that? Oh, sorry, finish.
Okay. To gather information. To gather information.
Who decides what's unusual?
A reasonable person.
Gotcha. What was Miss Berquist doing that was unusual? Just videoing?
Once I came out there,
Well, you put the handcuffs
You're
on her,
asking?
didn't you?
no,
Were you there when she got handcuffed?
I was.
You helped put the handcuffs on her?
I did not necessarily help. I was there as the other officer did it.
Did you touch Miss Berquist at all?
If I did, I don't recall.
Okay. Was there any reasonable suspicion that she was committing a crime, yes or no?
We weren't sure what she was doing.
Okay, so if you don't know what somebody's doing, do you have reasonable suspicion that they're doing anything in particular?
No, but we have a reasonable response to ask what she was doing.
Right. Agreed. You could ask her what she's doing. And when she refuses to answer, are you now allowed to detain her?
Yes.
Who told you this? That you get to detain people who are videoing and refuse to identify themselves when asked?
In this case, are you asking me per our... Which are you looking towards? Are you asking just for like myself or per the sheriff's office?
Well, in this case, I'm assuming that Milazzo was calling the shots, right?
My lieutenant was there first, yes.
Your lieutenant's name is?
Lieutenant Milazzo.
Milazzo, right, okay. Now, I'm talking about in general. Who told you that you get to detain people if there's unusual activity to gather information, if they refuse to identify themselves.
Just in general, you're
In
saying,
general.
not in this case.
Was it a training?
It was an unusual case in our courthouse. We are to stop and gather information to make sure that the situation would be secure.
So who told you that?
I would say my department.
When did your department tell you this?
I cannot tell you exactly. I don't know.
Is it fair to say that this policy has been in effect for at least 10 years?
Yes.
Since 9/11?
Yes.
What's your rank?
Sergeant.
How long have you been a sergeant?
I have been a sergeant 10 years. It will just be coming up on
How long have you-
9.5 years.
How long have you been working for the Cook County Sheriff's Office as a law enforcement officer of some sort, in any capacity?
19 years and 10 months.
What are the Miranda rights?
Our Miranda rights. And I would have to read them to you from a pre-written.
Okay.
Did you hear that, folks? She does not know something as basic as Miranda rights. She would have to read them from a card. And like literally, you can... Anybody who watches TV knows what their Miranda rights are. Like literally, you don't even have to have been arrested to know what your Miranda rights are. I don't even know if she knows what Miranda rights are. So anyways, I thought that was interesting.
You at some point told Ms. Bergquist at the counter in the sheriff's office that she had an option to simply show ID, and then she'd be on her merry way, right?
I'm not sure exactly what my words were, but I do remember speaking to her, yes.
You conveyed that type of offer, right?
Yes.
And in fact, I believe what you told her was that she's going to see the judge for recording at a courthouse, and she may or may not go home tonight. Remember saying that?
I do not.
Is that something you would say?
No.
You wouldn't say something like that. Because it's not true, right?
It may or may not be true. I don't make the rulings on what the judge says or what the judge does.
Right.
I can't tell anybody, and not allowed to even tell them. That is what the judge decides on sentencing verdicts, on anything that happens. That's not my decision.
Right, but didn't you tell her that she may or may not go home tonight? Didn't you tell her that she may or may not go home tonight?
I do not remember that.
Is that something that you would say?
No.
Why wouldn't you say something like that?
Because, as I said, it's not my decision on if she is or if she's not going home. It would be the judge's decision. If a judge decides to hold somebody, then they decide to hold somebody. If they say that they're free to go, they're free to go. They set bond. I do not.
Right, also, saying something like that to somebody, you may or may not go home tonight, it's a little bullying, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
What do you think? Do you think that sounds a little bit like a bullying tactic?
I'm not sure.
If you don't do what I'm saying, you may or may not go home tonight?
I'm not sure.
You don't think that sounds like a bullying tactic?
It's been asked and answered.
You don't think that's a bullying tactic?
Is this bullying? Can you, it's
You
been
think I'm
asked, it's
bullying?
been answered.
I'm bullying her?
You're asking the same question over and over. It's
I thought
been
you
asked and
answered this
answered.
question.
It's already been answered.
What's your answer, just so we're clear for the record? You don't think this is a bullying tactic?
Once more.
Your objection is noted. Tell her to answer the question, please.
Yeah, you can still answer them.
Okay. I'm not sure.
But it's definitely something that you would not say, right?
Correct.
In fact, you said to her that they take it not so lightly. It can either be an incident report or you can go to bond court. Remember saying that?
No.
You wouldn't say that either. Right?
Correct.
At one point, I think you said to her, this is your last chance or you're going to be arrested. Ever say that to her?
No.
Were you standing by the counter with her while Milazzo was in his office?
I was standing in the office, yes.
This is not marked as an exhibit, but I believe there's a Bates stamp here that's S07334-suspicious circumstance. It's the 2018 328 Axon Body 2 camera footage, which was provided in discovery. I'm going to play from the 2:15 mark. Right.
Take you downstairs, then you will be arrested. We will fingerprint you, and we will run you.
Spanish 204. Anybody sees the interpreter? Spanish 204.
You'll go to bond court at 1:30, and then the judge will decide what he will do for you recording at a courthouse. So you may or may not go home tonight.
Pausing it at 2:48. Did you hear a woman's voice just say you may or may not go home tonight?
Yes,
Who owns that voice? Do you know?
that was me.
So you would say something like that.
All right. Yes, I did, yes.
Is there anything else that I'm going to have to show you video footage for in order to get a truthful answer?
As I stated, I have not watched that video, so I would not say that I remember from something that happened almost a year ago.
Did Milazzo say to you something to the effect of, what the fuck is going on today? Every crazy loon in the building is coming.
Okay, guys, and you know the irony of that statement is that a lot of you may not know this, but Lieutenant Milazzo is actually also a counselor. He has a, he counsels people, and he's like, helps people with mental issues and things like that. So to say every fucking loon in the building is kind of messed up, wouldn't you say? Anyways, moving on.
I do not remember exactly that.
Would it surprise you if you would say that, or would you not be so surprised?
That would surprise me for someone to say that, but I do remember something being said. The exact words I do not remember.
Okay. What did you mean when you told Ms. Berquist that she may or may not go home tonight?
Based upon what happens in court, a judge decides whether someone is set for bond, if they post, if they don't post, if they're released, if they're not released. It is all based upon what a judge does.
So you were basically telling her, give me your ID and identify yourself, or you're going to be in this limbo where you may not go home tonight, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, can you say it again?
You were basically telling Ms. Berquist, give us your ID and identify yourself, or else you're going to go to the judge and you may or may not go home tonight.
We were requesting for her to give us an ID.
And if she wouldn't, what would happen to her?
That she would have to go to bond court, I think I said, for then the judge to decide what would happen.
And she may or may not go home that night, right?
Correct.
And you felt the need to tell her that would happen if she didn't give you an ID, right?
Yes, I guess I said that.
And again, the lawful basis to demand her ID was what?
So that we knew who she was.
Anybody you want to know who they are, you get to demand their ID and threaten to bring them to bond court if they don't give it to you in handcuffs? Is that the law?
She was outside videoing, which is something unusual, which is the reason why supervisor was called to go outside to find out that. That's the reason why.
Did you hear my question?
Yes.
What was my question?
Your question was, I can't give it to you exactly. I'm not.
I'll tell you what the question was.
Okay.
I asked you if you get to detain anybody who refuses to identify themselves to you and threaten them that you will bring them to bond court in handcuffs if they don't identify themselves.
So the question is,
Do you get to do that to anybody that you want as an officer of the law?
I guess I'm sorry, I'm not understanding the question. Are you asking if I can just stop anybody that I want and arrest them? So that would be no?
Are you allowed to stop anybody you want, ask them for ID, and if they refuse to give it to you, detain them and bring them to a judge where they'll have bond court and may or may not go home tonight? Do you get to do that to anybody that you want?
Who is acting unusual and suspicious?
Let's start
We have the right.
Let's start with my question. Anybody. Do you get to do that to just anybody you want? Yes or no?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, the answer is obviously no, right?
I'm going to stick with I don't know.
Okay. You think that there's a possibility you get to just go over to anybody on the street and demand ID, and if they don't give it to you, you can detain them?
Not just anybody, no.
Okay, thank you. So we're on the same page now. Somebody has to do something to give you that right as an officer of the law, right?
Correct.
For example, if somebody acts in a way,
Acts like ACTS? Acts,
right,
is that what you're saying?
acts in a way
Okay.
that establishes reasonable suspicion that they're engaged in illegal activity, you get to do a brief detainment, right?
Correct.
And if there's probable cause that they're involved in criminal activity, then you get to arrest them, right?
Correct.
Okay. Was there any reasonable suspicion that Ms. Bergquist was engaged in any illegal activity?
She was engaging in suspicious activity?
I didn't ask you about suspicious, did I?
No.
What did I ask you?
If she was engaging in anything illegal?
I asked you if there was any reasonable suspicion.
God bless you.
I asked you if there was any reasonable suspicion that she was engaged in any illegal activity.
By the time I got there, I'm not sure what she was doing.
I'm asking you what your knowledge is. Based on what you know, based on what you saw, based on what you observed.
Based
Can
on what
you-
I know I was doing as I was directed by my lieutenant. I
Okay.
walked out there after the fact, so on what she was doing at the beginning, I am not aware of what she was doing at the beginning.
I want to make sure that when we get to trial, your testimony is still going to be, you don't know anything, you were only doing what your lieutenant told you to do. Is that going to be your testimony?
I know that she was videotaping. We are unaware of actually what she was videotaping outside of the building, whether it was outside or inside of the building.
Did you ever touch her camera or SD card?
No, not as far as I remember.
Did you ever delete any footage from her camera?
No.
Do you or did you have any reasonable suspicion that she was engaged in illegal activity? Not suspicious. I don't care about suspicious.
Okay.
I'm asking you about illegal activity. Did you or do you have, let me start the question over. Was there ever any reasonable suspicion that she was engaged in illegal activity?
I would be unaware of any illegal activity.
Okay. Yet she was detained anyway, right?
Correct.
Was she arrested?
She was not.
What's the difference between arrested and detained?
We were not. We were just detaining her. I was detaining her until further information was gathered.
Did you hear my question?
Yes. What was the difference?
What's the answer?
The difference is we were detaining while we were gathering information and not arresting to place new charges on her.
Did you understand the question I asked you?
Right. Detain is to hold together information, and arrest is to place new charges upon somebody.
Gotcha. So unless you put charges on somebody, they're not arrested?
We're not arresting them, correct.
Okay. So when you handcuff somebody in a public place, bring them into a sheriff's office, bring them in front of a judge, take their property, and search through their purse, in your opinion, that's a detainment, not an arrest, right?
Correct.
Okay. What would have had to have happened for it to be an arrest? She would have had to have been charged with a crime?
Correct.
So if somebody would have issued her a ticket after all of that, it would have been an arrest?
Or put new charges, yes.
What do you think of the way Milazzo acted that day?
In which regards? How do you...
Well, you heard that I'm assuming you heard all this. You were there, right next to Miss Bergquist, while he was talking to her, right? Inside?
Yes.
Okay. And he said to her things like, you're going to go to Cook County Jail for 90 days, right?
Do not remember everything that was said. No.
Okay.
And I did not review any of the video to...
Do you remember him ever saying to her that she would go to jail for 90 days?
I do not.
All right.
See, this is something that bothers me a lot too, is that stuff like this happens all the time. And it happens so much to the fact that it's really embedded in their brains. Like, I think she really, truly believes and really doesn't remember what was said, just because they say that type of shit all the time to people. And they spew all kinds of bullshit. And I also really, truly, genuinely believe that she does not know the difference between an arrest and a detainment. That she really thinks that detaining someone is just to gather information, and to arrest someone means to put charges onto them. Like, it blows my mind. It blows my mind that she's a sergeant, and it blows my mind that she's been in law enforcement for 20 years, and that's what she answered to the difference between an arrest and a detainment. I can guarantee that the vast majority of people who are watching this video now can explain exactly what the difference is between an arrest and a detainment. If you know the answer, go ahead and put it in the comments section. Let me know, and let her know if she watches this, what the difference is between an arrest and a detainment.
Same video, and this time I'm playing at 1540.
Okay.
Back up and drop. 1532, rather.
Okay.
Yes.
We're going to probably take her in front of the judge.
Okay.
He's going to hold her in contempt for, I think right now he's doing 90 days.
Okay.
So, is that okay with you? Okay. You realize you're going to go to Cook County Jail for 90 days.
Milazzo said, you realize you're going to go to Cook County Jail for 90 days. You heard him say that?
I did.
We're paused at 1550 right now. Is that an appropriate thing for an officer of the law to say to somebody, in your opinion?
I don't have an opinion on that.
I understand that I'm putting you in a very difficult position right now, because I've got you under oath and I'm asking you to testify about your supervisor.
Correct.
Okay? I'm doing it anyway.
Okay.
What's your opinion about the way he treated Miss Bergquist when he said that? Is that appropriate or inappropriate conduct for an officer of the law?
I do not have an opinion on it.
Are you afraid that if you say that what he did was improper or inappropriate or unprofessional, that you might face some sort of lashback?
No.
Then why is it that you're afraid or don't want to tell me what your opinion is?
Because I don't have an opinion. It's here nor...
You have no opinion about Milazzo's statement to Ms. Bergquist that she would go to jail for 90 days.
I didn't even remember him saying it until just 20 seconds ago.
Right. But now that you do remember, is that something you would say to somebody?
No.
Why not?
Because it's not my decision to sentence anybody. It is up to the judge.
Is it Milazzo's decision?
No.
Okay, so can you think of any reason explaining or justifying Milazzo saying that to Ms. Berquist?
I cannot.
You still don't have any opinions about whether that was an appropriate thing to say to Ms. Berquist?
I don't.
If she would have shown ID, would she have been released? Or do you not know? Was it
I
Milazzo?
don't know. That would not have been my discretion. It was not my call.
Okay. The only thing that concerns me at this point is that I'm afraid when we get to trial, your testimony is going to change. After you say you reviewed all the footage and reviewed all the reports and talked to everybody, do I need to be scared of that?
No.
Nothing further.
Nothing for me.
All right. Since we've got so much time, let's just do Barbara, since we're here anyway.
All right, there we go, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. And
Until I talk to a lawyer.
Okay, call your lawyer.
That includes my camera as far as consent.
Well, it's already on.
Are you familiar with the Fourth Amendment?
Oh, great. Why do we always get the crazy?
I don't know.
Courtroom 209 to courtroom 102. Go for 102. Mayor, can you check and see if Officer 132 is there?
Milazzo, Larson.
What was it?
All right, all we're asking is for an
Do you have an
ID so
ID?
we can find out who you
I
Officer
are.
have consent to
132.
searches, and I'm remaining silent. So that's it. I was taking pictures outside, and that's it.
That officer's en route.
You were taking pictures of a secure building.
Yep.
He doesn't need to come up. The
In public.
prosecutor just wanted me to check on it.
Absolutely. Okay.
He's already en route. 10-4, thanks, Mayor.
Okay.
Did you delete my footage?
Do you want to cooperate or not?
I'm remaining silent.
It is only making it worse. Do you want to give us
I'm
an
remaining
ID?
silent. I'm remaining silent. I don't consent to searches.
We're not going to search you. We're asking for an ID. What the fuck is going on today?
I don't know.
Every crazy loon in the building is coming. All we're asking is an ID.
We're asking for an ID.
We'll do a report. You can go on your way with your camera. Otherwise, I'm going to confiscate the camera, and we're going to take it downstairs
For what
and we're
crime?
going to print you. Because you're suspicious.
I'm remaining silent.
This is going to be your last chance. We're going to take you downstairs. Then you will be arrested. We will
what?
fingerprint you, and we will run you.
Is this what you want?
I'm remaining silent.
Spanish to 204. Anybody sees the interpreter? Spanish to 204, please.
All right.
You'll go to bond court at 1:30, and then the judge will decide what he will do for you recording at a courthouse. So you may or may
Outside.
not go home tonight.
I'm remaining
They
silent.
take it not so lightly. It can either be an incident report, or you're going to go to bond court. I mean, that's going to be up to you. I mean, so you're
So I
making
have to
it for
identify
you.
myself, or I'm going to go to bond court?
Yes, I mean, the
remaining
lieutenant is going to charge you. So, I mean, you're just making it worse. He's given you the chance to have it be an incident report versus...
I'll see what my lawyer
You'll-
says.
Do you
See
want
what
to
my
call
lawyer
your
suggests.
lawyer?
Yep. You don't have any cameras in here?
You're on camera right now.
Where?
I'm literally
Oh, good.
recording you.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, this is your choice. You can either give us an ID so that we could do a report on this and find out who you are, or we're going to take you in front of the presiding judge. He's going to hold you in contempt, which means that he can hold you for as long as he wants.
Remaining silent.
Okay, let's do it. I'm going to call the judge then, let him do it.
Okay. Here, Ken, these are yours. Lou may want you to. We'll have to wait and see what he says. Sarge, if you want to call Coppola in a little bit and have him go downstairs, I didn't make it to 104 yet. I would imagine though, Mayor just came. No, I don't. I'm thinking maybe about 20 minutes. Yeah. Are you sure? Victor, I'd tell Victor going down. Okay. Okay. Well, I would have just said Brez, but they were coming back up with a motion at 1:30. You have 40. Yeah.
Wozniak to Keska.
Yeah.
How much?
10-4.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. $107? Yeah, but Jerry went there. John should be done. Jerry. No, I meant John should be back from lunch. No. Oh, did Mary Rose go first? Okay. Sarge, never mind. Can you call downstairs and tell Deputy Duganzik she needs to do a misswipe form from the 21st? Yeah, Alice will be back from lunch in about 15 minutes if you need her somewhere else. Oh, okay.
Yeah, can you just tell her she has to do a misswipe from the 21st? Okay, thank you. She stepped out for a minute.
Okay. Let's try to remember. I mean, when I come back, I can do it. But I just want to call her just in case if Deb forgets to tell her.
Yeah, that's why I wrote it down. I'll call her again.
Thank you. Okay.
I'm sure she will.
105 to 102. Go. Do you have the bar attorney down there? 10-4. I'll send him your way. Never. Thank you.
Did I show you my veggie thing that I'm making on for Easter?
The little cups? Yeah, you showed me yesterday. I was thinking I might still there. I gotta see how many.
It's cute.
Huh?
It's cute.
It is cute, but
It's super cute.
I have
It's
that-
super easy.
And I have that little tray too.
Yeah.
Where it's already just one thing.
Right.
So, I don't know. See, I have to go and buy a new couch tonight.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah, and hopefully it'll be delivered before Sunday. I'm gonna have no place for these people to sit because
Who are you going to go to?
yesterday and they broke the arm off my couch. I mean, it is on my floor. The whole arm.
I don't know. I don't even think that that's going to be possible.
So, I mean, I told them, I said, don't, you know, we can just push it up against the counter, and I mean, at least it can still sit on the couch. There's just no arm on it.
Nobody is going to be able to deliver. Today's Wednesday, right? Yeah.
So I said, we'll see. This, you know, stupid idiots for wrestling. And just one pushed the other one and fell on top of him onto the arm of the couch. And I mean, it was already like the couch is like.
It was
12
obviously
years old.
ready to go.
You know, it
Right.
was like a 12-year-old couch.
But
so
still,
I'm not even that
you
really
didn't want it
upset
to go
about
right before Easter.
Exactly. I was hoping I could
Right.
wait. I was hoping, and when Phil got back to work and he had a couple extra paychecks, then I would
No.
get the new furniture.
Don't be silly. Nothing happens that planned.
Yeah, right.
Nelson. 105.
I don't know. But I just see where I can fit other stuff at, so I might use it, I might just use my thing, depending on how much room I have,
Gotcha.
so.
You're not done already, are you?
No, we're going, but I gotta rescind the date. Do I have to do 2 from?
No. Is it one of your vacation pick days?
No, it's a day that, a personal day I gotta rescind.
Did you already put it in?
Yeah.
No, just go into workforce and cancel it.
Okay.
Oh, I think the approver, was it already approved?
Yeah.
The approver, if it was already approver, whoever approved it has to go in.
Write a 2 from.
Oh, you do?
Yep, because according to, if I go in there and just cancel her request.
Oh, and she
can turn around and
says,
say, I never canceled.
oh, okay, makes sense. Okay,
So I get it.
okay, that's fine. Please do a 2 from.
Okay, I will.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
We're gonna probably take her in front of the judge.
Okay.
He's gonna hold her in contempt for, I think right now he's doing 90 days.
Okay.
So, is that okay with you?
Remain silent.
Okay, but you realize you're going to go to Cook County Jail for 90 days,
Remain silent.
okay?
Okay.
Now, you have an option. All you have to do is show us an ID so that we can do a report, and we'll let you go on your way.
I have an option?
Yeah,
We told you that
Remain
before.
silent.
because right now you're just obstructing and you're in contempt.
Obstructing what?
You're obstructing us from doing our job.
Remaining silent.
All right, cuff her, let's get her purse,
Ken.
get her stuff.
I don't consent to searches.
Well, we don't care anymore, okay?
Give me your purse. Well,
Cuff her
run
right
it through.
now. Have her sit right there.
Okay. Yeah.
This is that form I wanted to show you.
Oh,
Yeah, no property at all.
here, I'll help you.
I can't.
I'll help you. I got it, I got it. You go back. You know what? Ken, let me go. Hold on. Come on over here. I'm going to get you.
To uphold the Constitution?
Hold this so she doesn't. I'm going to get you a second pair.
Actually, no, that's with vacation. I'm gonna
Yeah, I'll probably have to go in and do it, yeah.
just do the 2 from when I get it from her. I'll cancel it out. Okay, I'm not.
Go downstairs, have somebody run her.
Okay.
Wait, back in there. Oh.
Hi, Sarge. How are you?
Okay, turn around. Oh, you got it for cuffs, okay.
He said just put it all back in there. That's what he told me. I just gotta go down with it.
It'll just be easier to do the 2. There you go. All right, Ken, you can have a seat back here.
Oh, no, Jackie, Kyle, you know,